Namaste, good morning, and a very, very warm welcome today to a historic day for all of us here in India. It's our 74th Independence Day, and we are so very proud to be the country that we are, incredible India of incredible Indians. Before we start the day's proceedings today, may I request everyone, wherever you are in the world, may you please rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलधि तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So once again, as I said, it's a very, very special day for us, and we are so happy to bring to you this another episode from the Dekho Apna Desh series. Viewers, we kick-started this particular bunch of webinars for coming to this historic day for us on the 10th of August, when we started with 1857. Well, this was the day that was to become historic for our motherland. And a very, very important part, a very important person of this whole journey, because it was a journey and it is continuing to be a journey. But at that point of time, we had in India the Iron Man of India. I'm sure most of us know about it, but for all the younger generations who may or may not know, and for all people tuning in from other parts of the world, Iron Man of India is none other than Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Born in Nadiad, he became a major force for unification of India. The India, the way we see it today, a whole lot of credit goes to him, because he was the one who got into negotiations with princely states, and the kind of work that he did, that you can actually do at least, I think, 30, 40 webinars only on talking about the times that were when power was moving to the Indians for their motherland. He is not just responsible for the unification of India, and therefore also sometimes referred to as Bismarck, but is also has a huge contribution to the drafting of the Constitution of India. And a critical part, the fundamental rights, was a part that he made a huge contribution apart from many other things. Today we are going to do this journey of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, whose statue today stands really tall. I'm not going to give you the details because we have Mr. Sanjay Joshi, who is from the Gujarat Civil Service. He's also the additional collector in the Statue of Unity area. There is a board that looks after this amazing place that has come up. He will tell you how far it is from Ahmedabad. He will tell you the journey of Sardar Patel from the time that he was born. But before we bring him on board, I will request Mr. Jenu Diwan. He is the Managing Director of the Gujarat Tourism Department. Again, another force to reckon with. So today we have two very passionate people from Gujarat Tourism bringing to us stories and the life of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Do remain tuned in, because at the end of the program, we have some other couple of very interesting people for you today. Welcome, Jenu. Welcome, Sanjay.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning,
morning.
additional DG ma'am, other officers from Ministry of Tourism, my dear friends from the tourism and hospitality sector. Indeed, the state of Gujarat is honored that we have been given this opportunity to present on such a particular topic on this day, that too the 74th Independence Day of India, about Sardar Patel, the architect of modern India, the unifier of India, the Iron Man of India. The state of Gujarat is associated with so many events that are important in the freedom struggle of the country, and so many important personalities are born here. But two out of them stand apart. Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel. And there are so many places that are important in the lives of both of them, be it Kirti Mandir in Porbandar or Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad or the Dandi Memorial for Gandhiji, or whether it is the Nadiyad, Karamsad, Bardoli, and the latest addition, the Statue of Unity in Kevadia for Sardar Patel, are very important tourist places as well as historical sites that the state has created for the future generations. In fact, the Statue of Unity, the 182-meter tall statue, the tallest one in the world, it was inaugurated on 31st October 2018. And the first year itself, it has almost attracted more than 25 lakhs tourists, and the number is increasing day by day. So the tourists who are visiting there, the persons who are interested in the lives of Sardar Patel and the freedom struggle, they can learn so many things apart from seeing the magnificent structure itself. They can learn so much about the history of the freedom struggle, the life and other events that are relevant in the life of the Sardar Patel Sahib. And to give them a wholesome experience, the state has ensured that in the last 1 year itself, we have created another 15 tourist places in and around the statue. So, be it for the children in the form of a nutritional bar, for adventure activities, the ecotourism, and even for those who are interested in staying overnight, homestay facilities, tented accommodation. So, who they are visiting the statue, they will not go with a negative impression. So they are feeling happy, they are feeling going back with the wholesome experience. So this is what the state has created for the future, to learn about the life of the Sardar Patel, the values attached with his life, the events that are important in the freedom struggle of the country. So this is what we have for the future generation, and we hope that the future generations also will get an opportunity to learn so many things that are associated with the freedom struggle. And I take this opportunity to welcome on behalf of the government of Gujarat to all those who have visited the statue or not visited the statue to come again and enjoy this magnificent structure and the other places that are in and around the statue. Thank you, and wishing you a happy Independence Day once again. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you, Jenu. Thank you very much for those very nice words. And now taking us on the journey of the towering figure of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, I'll call upon Sanjay Joshi. Sanjay is the additional collector and chief manager of the Statue of Unity. And he is going to take us on the journey of this remarkable Indian. Welcome, Sanjay. Sanjay, you just unmute yourself.
Namaskar and Vande Mataram to all the viewers, and my special respect and honor to the dignitaries of Government of India, ADG Madam, Ministry of Tourism, Jenu Devan Sahab, our Honorable MD to Gujarat Tourism, and the state government officials with a special mention of Government of Gujarat. Swatantrata ki din ki shubhkamnaएं. Before I start my presentation, I wish to dedicate all my efforts of storytelling about Indian freedom struggle and life and work of Sardar Patel since last 5 years to all the martyrs, not only those who played a role in the freedom struggle, but also all the Hutatma soldiers of the modern India who laid their lives to protect the Samprabhuta, the borders of this great Hindustan in the wars after the independence. भारत के परम वैभव की प्राप्ति के लिए समर्पण करने वाले सबको कोटि कोटि प्रणाम. Today in a very brief session, I'll try and touch upon important places in Gujarat in life of Sardar Patel and the Statue of Unity, the greatest memorial of Iron Man of India. Although it is difficult to narrate his life story in few sessions, may I request for the film, we'll go through, we will have a look at one film which tells you about the making of the entire statue and the real aim and desire of the person who envisioned making this tall statue. Please, the film, please.
नर्मदा के तट पर एक ऐतिहासिक घटना, एक नए इतिहास का, एक नए संकल्प का शिलान्यास हो रहा है।
एक भारत, अखंड भारत, अटूट भारत, जन जन का भारत। हर जन के भारत का सपना कभी सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने देखा था। उसी दृष्टा के दर्शन को एक मूर्त स्वरूप देने का सपना देखा माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने।
पिछले कई वर्षों से इस सपने को मन में संजोया था। स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी, इसका गर्भाधान हुआ, उसका बीजारोपण हुआ।
देश को राजनैतिक, भौगोलिक रूप से ही नहीं, दिल को दिल से जोड़ने का काम भी सरदार ने किया था, और वो भी उस समय जब देश को टुकड़ों में धर्म और मजहब के नाम पर बांटा जा रहा था।
विरासतों को कभी बांटना नहीं चाहिए। सरदार साहब सच्चे सेक्युलर थे।
सिर्फ एक पाकिस्तान ही नहीं, आशंका थी कि देश अंग्रेजों की फूट डालो राज करो की चाल के चलते 565 रजवाड़ों रियासतों में न बंट जाए। मगर सरदार तो एकता के दूत थे, एकता के देवता।
राजे रजवाड़े अलग अलग संप्रदाय से थे, अलग अलग परंपराओं से थे, अलग अलग भाषाबाजी वाले थे। उसके बावजूद भी ये सरदार साहब के सेक्युलरिज्म की ऊंचाई थी कि उन्होंने सबको जोड़ने का काम किया।
उस एकता के अग्रदूत को स्मरण करना, नमन करना, उसे फिर से प्रासंगिक बनाना आज जितना जरूरी है, शायद उतना कभी नहीं था।
प्रांतवाद के झगड़े, भाषावाद के झगड़े, संप्रदायवाद के झगड़े, जातिवाद के झगड़े, इन चीजों ने हमारे देश को तबाह कर दिया है। हमें भारत मां के गौरव को पुनः प्रस्थापित करना है तो एकता के मंत्र को घर घर, गली गली, हर मन तक पहुंचाना पड़ेगा और हर मन को जोड़ना होगा।
किसी विद्वान ने सही ही कहा है कि जो देश, जो समाज अपना इतिहास भूल जाता है, वो अपने भविष्य का रास्ता भी खो बैठता है।
और हमारे देश के लिए अगर सबसे बड़ी एक समाज की मन में एक आवश्यकता है तो हमारी सोसाइटी हिस्ट्री कॉन्शियस होनी चाहिए।
और इसी इतिहास को, अपनी जड़ों को, अपने देश और हम सबको पहचान देने वाले सरदार पटेल का हमें चिर स्मरण रहे। इसीलिए तय हुआ बनाना एक ऐसी प्रतिमा का जिसे कोई कभी भूल न सके। भारत को एकता के सूत्र में पिरोने वाले, हमें एक एकीकृत गणराज्य देने वाले भारत को सबसे विराट विशाल जनतंत्र बनाने वाले उस लौह पुरुष की विशाल विराट प्रतिमा आज फिर से भारत को एक सूत्र में गूंथने का काम करने वाली है।
ये सरदार साहब का स्मारक एकता का स्मारक बनेगा, स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी बनेगा।
भले ही हमारे देश में कितने ही धर्म, जाति, भाषाएं, संस्कृतियां, समाज, रिवाज का संगम हो, पर यही विविधता, विचित्रता, विशिष्टता ही तो हमें वो बनाती है कि कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी। सदियों रहा है दुश्मन दौरे जहां हमारा।
भाषा अनेक, भाव एक, राज्य अनेक, राष्ट्र एक, पंथ अनेक, लक्ष्य एक, बोली अनेक, स्वर एक, रंग अनेक, तिरंगा एक, समाज अनेक, भारत एक, रिवाज अनेक, संस्कार एक, योजना अनेक, मकसद एक, कार्य अनेक, संकल्प एक, राह अनेक, मंजिल एक, पहनावा अनेक, तीभा एक, चेहरे अनेक, मुस्कान एक।
फ्रेंच क्रांति के समय लोगों ने स्वतंत्रता, एकता, समानता का नारा दिया था, पर भारत के जननेता सरदार पटेल ने न केवल देश को स्वतंत्रता दिलाई, वरन सबकी समानता के लिए संविधान बनाने से लेकर देश की एकता के लिए भी भगीरथ प्रयत्न किए। उनके विशाल व्यक्तित्व और विराट कृतित्व को भी समर्पित है ये संसार की सबसे विराट विशाल प्रतिमा।
Thank you. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the first Home Minister and the first Deputy Prime Minister of India in 1947, was, as we all know, was also known as the Iron Man of India. He was born in a family of a farmer who hailed from a small village called Karamsad, near today's Amul city, Anand. The life story of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is a story of a visionary architect, a fearless nation builder whose titanic energies were geared to the realization of the dream of united India in a record time. He was a simple son of soil with Himalayan stability, omnicompetence, and native good sense, unspoilt and human to the last. The memory of Sardar, the winner of Bardoli in the pre-independence period, and the unifier after the independence of about 560 princely states, will never be lost from the hearts of millions of Indians. Sardar Patel was a man of action. If you all know, he has not written a single book. What we can know about his life is from the speeches which have been written by the people who have, contemporary people who have written about it. So many freedom fighters have written their biographies, autobiographies. We can know Sardar from them. And we are lucky that we have got the treasure of his audio recordings of his speeches. From that, we can know about his life. His achievements are stupendous and unparalleled. It is very important that the coming generation should know about Sardar Patel. Perhaps for this and no other reason, the memorial to the life and work of Sardar Patel in the form of world tallest statue was necessary. In remembering his life and work, we are reconnecting with our ability to work for a better India. That the India which he dreamt, along with Mahatma Gandhi and other freedom fighters. That there is an India today to think and talk about, very largely due to Sardar Patel's statesmanship and firm administration. There are, and there will be many reasons why the memory of Sardar's achievement should be preserved and propagated by the generation, for the generations to come. Among many, one important reason would be that The Sardar's life and work represents the core principle of nationalism, the nationhood that inspires the present generation to become stronger to defend the nation, self-sufficient, Atmanirbhar to prosper, and to develop its relationships in spirits of equality, fraternity, and unity. Eka Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. When Sardar attempted to give a unified administration to this country, there was no bloodshed or denial of legitimate claims of the princes while accommodating a republican spirit. It is the spirit of accommodation and all the Gandhian moderation that allowed for integration of a landmass that was of a size of Europe in a very short span without shedding a single drop of blood or generating any kind of bitterness. This integration is unparalleled in the history of the world. After nearly 2 millennia, India was again brought under a single flag, a single government as a unified political entity, not since times of the Mauryans. As the soul of this achievement was the core of accommodation and tolerance. This message of Sardar's achievements needs to be held high to guide the future generations of Indians and hence the memorials of Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel was the Iron Man of India, a man of action, a bright lawyer, an excellent organizer, a source of pragmatism and judicious diplomat, who knit together British India and the widely scattered 560 states, but a counselor. Very few people know about a different phase of his life before 1931. Because in 1931, in the Karachi Congress, he became the president and then he came at the National Forum. But till then, he was involved in as the president and the chairman of the sanitation committee in Ahmedabad municipality for 11 long years. As we know, coming back to the story, let us know about his birthplace, Nadiad, and his native place, Karamsad. Now, this is as we all know that as per the Indian traditions, Sardar's mother had gone to her brother's place, and where Sardar was born on 1875 on 31st October. This is the place which shows there is a small house of his maternal uncle Mama where Sardar was born. Next, please.
Sanjay, where in Gujarat is Nadiad exactly?
Okay, Nadiad is just 60 kilometers from Ahmedabad while going towards Baroda, or you can say Ahmedabad to Bombay highway. The places which I am going to talk about, except for Somnath, they all are going to, they are on from Ahmedabad till Mumbai, till Surat.
Okay, thank you.
The second slide which I am showing you right now is the ancestral house, the family house of Sardar Patel in Karamsad. This has been converted into a beautiful photo gallery and it has been preserved as it was. And here we have one rare photograph, because we do not have photograph of Sardar's father Jawahar Bhai. But here, when they got together after a few years, they had left and they had also become barristers. When they had left, they came to Nadiad and it was a chance, and this historic photograph was taken. Next, please. His school is there in Karamsad. As we would like to know that, how did Sardar study? He did his primary education in Karamsad. Did not have much money to study further, but he went to his mama's place in Nadiad and completed his matric in 1897. So that was at the age of 22 years, he just completed his school education. He was in a hurry to earn. So he did not go to, neither he had money, nor he went to the college. He studied for 3 years, sitting at home, borrowing books, and he appeared for the district leaders examination and he successfully cleared that examination. Went to Godhra. There he started his practice. Before that, in 1993, he had already married to a girl from Ghana, village Ghana, just close to his native place, Karamsad, Jawahar Ba. His father's name was Jawahar Bhai, his wife's name was Jawahar Ba. And they went to Godhra. In 2002, after 2 years, they came to the very famous place that is again near Anand, a Borsad, he started his practice. Sardar wanted to become rich. He wanted to have all the luxuries of life. Let me tell you this, because this will tell you that what was the impact of Mahatma Gandhi meeting him in 1917. Sardar earned money. He wanted to become a barrister. So he earned money in 2000, in 1905, an envelope from Thomas Cook Company. It's an interesting story. Please listen to this. A Thomas Cook Company, a cover comes, envelope comes, written V.J. Patel. It goes in the hands of Vithalbhai J. Patel, the elder brother, who was also an advocate in Borsad. He looked at it. He knew that, okay, Vallabhbhai has got the opportunity to go to Britain to become a barrister. He requested him, I am your elder brother. What face shall I show in the community if the younger brother become barrister if I cannot? Please let me go. And Sardar allowed him. This was the first sacrifice he made. This was one of the sacrifices that he made towards his family. Vithalbhai went to London, became barrister, came back in 1908. In 1909, while Sardar was practicing, attempting a case, murder case in Anand court, he receives a telegram. He looks at the telegram midway to the arguments in the court. He puts the telegram in his pocket and he argues. He successfully completes that case, and then somebody suddenly asks, what was the telegram? It was a message of death of his dear wife. She had died. Sardar lost his wife at the age of 34. He never married again. He never thought of marrying again in life because he already had 2 children, Maniben and Dayabhai. This was the dedication of Sardar Patel, the firm determination that he had in his life in the initial years. He went to London in 1910, became a barrister in a short period. He became first class first. He got £50 prize, and then he came back. The Chief Justice of Bombay High Court offered him a place and a good position, showed him the way how to become powerful, working for the British government. But Sardar was a man of different metal. He respectfully denied. He came back to Ahmedabad, started his practice as a barrister. He was one of the strongest advocates within 1 year of his beginning as practicing. Next, please. Previous one. After this, now next. So Sardar, this is now, so he became a barrister and then he started practicing in Ahmedabad. This is a Sardar Patel Memorial in Karamsad, the slide which I am showing you right now. This was renovated and inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, and dedicated to the nation on April 11, 2000. While the ideas of Sardar Patel and Vithalbhai Patel as its nucleus, this magnificent memorial is spread across 7 acres surrounded by lush green landscapes and an octagonal yard. The monument has a photo gallery. It has also the Bharat Ratna, original Bharat Ratna, which Government of India had posthumously awarded in the year 1991. Another historic place is this Ras village. It is just 33 kilometers from the Amul city Anand. This is the place where Sardar was arrested for the first time. And if you go through the history pages of this village, you will find that how greatly these people, the farmers, were influenced by Sardar Patel and Mahatma Gandhi. And look at the kind of sacrifices that these farmers have made in their life. Next, please. This is Amul NDDB. Very few people, yes, late respected Mr. Dr. Kurian is known and he's for this Amul. But let me tell you, before the independence, the farmers had problems of selling milk. So the Paulson company had come and they were trying to, collect the milk. But it was Sardar and under whose guidance, Tribhuvan Bhai Patel and Morarji Desai, started the first Khera District Cooperative Farmer Society, and that was the seed for what NDDB and Amul is today. So that is again his visionary ideas to become Atmanirbhar, independent and progressive. This is, next please. As he was barrister, this is on the left hand side, it is Gujarat Club, where he used to sit. He was a chain smoker. He used to smoke and play bridge all the time when he had time apart from his barristership. Here, this is important. This is an historic place where he met Gandhi for the first time. In the summer of 1916, when Gandhi came to Gujarat Club to talk to a few people and tell them about how the India could get independence. Maulankarji, he was going to see Gandhiji. He was going to listen to Gandhiji. Sardar was playing bridge and he told him, "Are bhai, he will tell you to clean toilets. He will tell you to, pick pebbles from the wheat, and then you will get the independence. This is not this is not how we will get independence." He also said that we have already too many Mahatmas in this country. But what changed his mind? In 1900, during the Champaran Satyagraha, he read in the newspapers about the strong denial, firm determination of Mahatma Gandhi to the British, who had issued a notification that he will not enter Champaran. But the strong denial that Gandhiji registered, that changed Sardar's mind. He told his colleagues, okay, here is the man and here is the path through which we can get the independence. And then he joined Gandhi forever. So this is that Gujarat Club. On the right hand side, we have Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the bungalow where he stayed near the Gujarat Club. Next, please. Ahmedabad municipality, as I told you, in 1917, 5th January 1917, he won by 1 vote and he became the member of Ahmedabad municipality. He became the chairman of the sanitary committee initially. But in 1920, when there was a call for non-cooperation, majorly it was for 3 sectors. First was the freedom fighters had to leave the British institutions, resignations from the parliamentary and the councils, viceroy's councils and other institutions. Second was to boycott the British courts. And third was to establish our own institutions for the education, because the students were given a call to boycott the British operated schools. But then what was the alternative? So in 1922, because of this fight for indigenousness, Atmanirbharta in schools, Ahmedabad municipality was suspended for 2 years. In 1924, when they won the High Court case, they came back to power. Sardar became the president of Ahmedabad municipality. He remained there for 4 years. During this period, during the non-cooperation movement, the Gujarat Vidyapith, next please, Gujarat Vidyapith was also established. There is a long story, but I will not be able to narrate that entire story of his development works, his vision for the urban development, planning, water management, women development, untouchability, prohibition, against child marriage, against the wasteful expenditure, post-death, and there were several social taboos which he thought were not appropriate for a society which was aspiring to have political freedom. He used to tell, even if the Britishers go away and if you attain the political independence, the times are not going to be good until and unless you people also become free from the evils of the society that we are carrying right now. In 1990, let me tell you one about women development. Till 1919, he joined municipality. No female were allowed to contest to become the member of Ahmedabad municipality. Sardar passed a resolution in 1919, and then that resolution was sent to government, and in 1925 Bombay government abolished section 15(1) of the Municipality Act, and in 1926 famous Vidya Gauri Nilkanth, the first female member of the Ahmedabad municipality, was elected. In Champaran later he had said to the farmers, मैं आप लोगों को देख रहा हूं, मुझे लगता है कि आप लोग अर्धांग वायु से पीड़ित हैं. किसान समझे नहीं. बाद में बताया कि अगर आजादी की लड़त करनी है तो पूरा पूरा इंसान चाहिए. Without your wives and females sitting at home, you cannot have a complete fight. You cannot have complete contribution. Same thing happened in Bardoli. So this is what Sardar's call was. The picture which I am showing you right now is of Lokmanya Tilak. Sardar followed him. He was inspired by Lokmanya Tilak also. Now look at the sentence that is written on that plaque. It was the resolution was passed in Ahmedabad municipality. It was British government. The commissioner was British. The funds were being allowed by the British. And look at the power of our members of municipality under Sardar Patel. The plaque is showing that the Swaraj is my birthright. And that was installed during the British rule. That was the power and the kind of, their determination to fight for the independence of this country. So Gujarat Vidyapith, as I told you, was established as a symbol of the indigenousness. And so many people, even Maniben and Daya Bhai, both his children who were learning French, they could barely speak Gujarati. Maniben, Rajmohan Gandhi in his biography, Patel a Life writes, then Maniben has narrated that we used to go to Mumbai to buy our frocks and ribbons. And in 1919 Sardar, वो जो होली जलाई थी विदेशी कपड़ों की, उसमें अपने पूरा ब्रिटिश अटायर, फॉरेन अटायर जला दिया. He started with meal clothes. In 1922, just after 3 years, he even left that meal cloth which was being produced in India. He started with hand woven, khadi से शुरुआत की. So this is what his dedication to Gandhian principles was. He was the person, Gandhi gave all the principles. But it was Sardar who manifested these all principles on the ground. 1918 Kheda Satyagraha, 1923 Flag Satyagraha, 1924 Borsat Satyagraha, and 1928 the Bardoli Satyagraha. Next, please. This is one more I would like to tell you in Ahmedabad is VS Hospital and MJ Library. In 1924, Sardar had thought that, okay, we require a multi-speciality hospital so that we could improve the health facilities for the people of this city. Government, on request, government denied handing over the civil hospital. So Sardar, in his mind, had a big plan. He went to the rich people and he got funds from Varilal Sarabhai and Chinoy Seth to build a hospital which was inaugurated in 1931, VS Hospital. Today, it is still functioning and it is a monument about his dedication, his administration skills and his vision about the overall development of urban area of Ahmedabad. Next, please. National Memorial Shahi Bagh. This is one memorial created in Ahmedabad in an heritage building, and here is located in Shahi Bagh, Ahmedabad, near the airport. It was created by a trust established by former Chief Minister of Gujarat, Shri Bhaubhai Jasbhai Patel, under the supervision of Sardar's daughter Maniben Patel in 1978, who enriched the memorial because she had several photographs, original papers, Sardar, some of the Sardar's letters, those all are lying in this museum. There is a beautiful photo gallery which tells about Sardar's life. The museum was later enhanced in 2013 with the inclusion of interactive exhibits, artifacts, and the belongings of Sardar, next please, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. There is also a leisure show on the building of this museum, which we can see at night on Saturdays. Next please. Now these are the chappals. वो सिगरी है जो सरदार यूज करते थे, वो लोटा है, वो आज भी वहां मौजूद है. How simple he was. And look at the kind of property that this gentleman, I mean, this great freedom fighter had when he was dead. He did not have a single house in his name, not even for his single daughter, who had contributed immensely, being a shadow of this deputy prime minister and the first home minister of India. She lived in a public room till she was dead in 1989. Next, please. This is the place where you can see the tiffin box Sardar used, the clock, that these all original belongings are there in the Shahi Bagh memorial. Next, please. Now we are going towards Bardoli. Bardoli was the only, Swaraj Ashram was the only ashram that Sardar built. It was the place that he loved it. If he was not traveling, and if he was not in jail, Sardar always made his plans sitting at this place. Here he has developed a Chiku Wadi, which is still available. There is a Sardar house, known as Sardar Nivas in Bardoli. And if you look at if you read the story of Bardoli Satyagraha in 1928, while he was president of Ahmedabad municipality, one corrupt officer named Chandulal Bhagat applied for the position of chief officer. There were some British-backed members in the municipality. In spite of Sardar's denial to get this man here in the position, they all supported him. So Sardar said, if this man is appointed, corrupt man is appointed, then I will resign. And let me tell you, friends, the another candidate who had applied for this position was a revenue officer of that time, Mr. Morarji Desai. On 14th April, that gentleman became chief officer and Sardar resigned, went to Bardoli. Here he masterminded the entire freedom fight from here, and ultimately he won. 75,000 farmers were got together and where they followed the Gandhian values of non-violence and passive resistance. Next, please. This is the Bardoli Museum. There also there is the entire story, a photo gallery which tells about the Bardoli Satyagraha. It is 30 kilometers from Surat, and it also has the 21 feet, next please, replica of Statue of Unity, which the people of Bardoli have installed with their own funds. It is a beautiful place to see. Next please. Previous please. This is the telegram, and we have got where Vallabhbhai was arrested, and Kheda collector has made sent this message through telegram to Bombay government. Vallabhbhai arrested, no excitement. 7th March 1930. We have got more than 35,000 historical documents. We have got more than 2,000 films, photographs. We have got more than 48 audio speeches of Sardar Patel. We have got 18 films on Sardar Patel. So this is the kind of documents that we have. We have got several original letters written by Sardar Patel. Some of the important files of partition and also of integration that we have. Next, please. And this is Somnath Temple. As we all know, the three apples, which were difficult to get into the integration after the independence. It was Junagadh, the first one to come. On 9th November, Junagadh joined India after the Nawab fled to Pakistan. That too, it's a big story, but here I will just introduce the most important thing. On 13th November, Sardar went to this place, which is seen on the left-hand side. It was the ruins of the great Jyotirling of this country. Sardar had, he had his eyes wet. That day he took some water from the Arab Sagar and vowed. उन्होंने उस दिन संकल्प किया कि मैं मेरे जीते जी इस ज्योतिर्लिंग का पुनः स्थापन करूंगा. And that happened. Next, please. In 1951, on the right hand side, if you see Dr. Rajendra Prasad, जिनके हाथ इनकी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हुई. The masterminds, there were several masterminds. The major ones were Kanayalal Maneklal Munshi and the great Maharaja of Jamnagar. Next, please. Now we go to Kevadia. This is Sardar Sarovar Dam, the largest concrete dam in India, with a network of over 74,000 kilometers of irrigation canals and extending up to Rajasthan. The benefit of electricity, drinking water, irrigation, it is lifeline of Gujarat. The electricity is supplied to Madhya Pradesh and Mumbai and Maharashtra. And the irrigation water also goes to Rajasthan. Drinking water goes also to several cities of Gujarat. Here, it is 3 kilometers away from the statue. Next, please. This is the statue of a testimonial to the life of Sardar Patel, a role model of statesmanship aimed to inspire generations. The statue showcases Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's visions of unity, patriotism, inclusive growth, and good governance. And as Jenu Devan Saab said in his address, this statue, having more than 25 lakh visitors in the first year itself, has benefited the local economy, the local tribals in an immense way, and there is still a very long way forward. Next, please. This is the statue. Next, please. When you visit statue, you will have an interesting story. Another big session, how the entire statue was built. And there is a film in the statue, in the exhibition, that you can see that what number of people had contributed to, how Larsen and Toubro completed with the, of course, the credit also goes to the government of Gujarat. The person from Delhi, Honorable Prime Minister, who reviewed this project every 2 months throughout this entire journey of 33 months, and it was completed in, this was the fastest completion of a statue anywhere in the world. And there is an interesting story, material about, knowledge, information for the engineering students to know that how this entire statue was constructed, how this bronze cladding was done, how it was embedded with the major body, how these 2 lifts are there in the legs, and several other engineering features that we would like to know. Next, please. People would also like to, the sculptors and the art people would also like to know that how this face was created, the kind of exercises, the public consultations. We had 4 consultations, Karamsad, Bardoli, Ahmedabad, and Gandhinagar, where we had people's opinion on. There were several iterations. There were several changes made in the ears, nose, the head, the skull, and the exercise. It was an interesting exercise for more than 1.5 years, which went through, and finally we could get Sardar Patel with technology and also with people's opinion, who could give us valuable opinions. Next, please. This is the exhibition. Now you can see the head of Sardar Patel, and 5 times to this head is actually there up on the statue. But this has been given as a photo opportunity for the people. And there are wonderful sections in the entire exhibition which tell about right from his birth, the making of statue, his birth, education, partition, then integration. And there is a pledge also in the exhibition where people can take. Next, please. So now let me quickly run through, next please, quickly run through the other attractions which are there at the statue. These are the photographs, beautiful photographs, the newspapers of those times. Next, please. These are the photographs of Constitution and Sardar taking oath given by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Next, please. This is the last journey on 15th December 1950, at the age of 75. He breathed last in Mumbai. And it is an interesting story to read that what happened in those 3 days. What was he worried about? He was worried about India. He was worried, unlike others, common man, he wasn't worried about his family and his belongings. The daughter, which was just sitting beside him for several years, he was worried about the integration and the independence of this country, food for the people, the irrigation, and several other projects. Next, please. We can see the projection mapping and the wall of unity. The Lohha campaign is another story wherein, on the call of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, almost 1,70,000 farmers from 1,70,000 locations across all the states of the country contributed a small piece of Lohha and soil of that village, which has been converted into a wall of unity. So that symbolizes the motto of this statue, Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. That entire steel has been purified and converted into steel bars and utilized in the project. Next, please. This is the Lohha campaign that I was talking about. The call was given on 30th. Next, please. Valley of Flowers. Now, these are the attractions in Statue of Unity. The Valley of Flowers is spread across 24 acres of land and is a haven for colorful flowering plants along the banks of river Narmada. I'll take 2 more minutes, madam. Recognizing the importance of, there is an Arogya Van herbal garden. Next, please. There is a butterfly garden. There is a cactus garden where you can see not only national but international varieties of cactus. Here is a Ekta Mall, which symbolizes again Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat. We have handicrafts from all the states. There is a facility for the lodging and boarding facilities, Hotel Ramada, the Shrestha Bharat Bhavan. Next, please. This is a children nutrition park, and especially during the discussions, Honorable PM and our MD, Honorable Rajiv Gupta sir, wanted to have special facilities for the children. So there is a children nutrition park, mirror maze. Next, please. This is the cactus garden, as I mentioned earlier. Next, please. This is Ekta Nursery in Arogya Van. So there is enough to know about the flora and fauna and how it helps in individuals' health. That also is very well prepared there. This is Vishwaman, where we have plants from various countries and they are preserved. So that again, Vishwa Bandhutva, that has been inscribed in this Vishwaman. For the children and for the nightlife, there is a Unity Glow Garden in Kevadia. Next, please. For the young, especially for the young, there is a river rafting and Nauka Vihar. Of course, this is operated, especially the river rafting is operated only for limited months, especially in the monsoon. Next, please. There is a Jarwani for the eco-tourist, Jarwani waterfall, and there is an adventure park created. As we all know that the statue is located between Satpuras and Vindhyachals. Next, please. Khalwani to Jarwani ecotourism. Next, please. The tent city. The last thing which I would like to mention, one can have the joy of nature, all surroundings with water bodies and mountains of Satpuras and Vindhyachal and the Sulpaneshwara sanctuary. Next, please. I'll just run through the pictures of tent city. Please go ahead. Yes. Swimming pool. Thank you. This is an amphitheater. Thank you. Thank you, madam. I'm sorry if I've taken 4 or 5 minutes more.
No problem. Sanjay, fantastic presentation. And viewers, don't you agree that this is a life lived so well? And we are so very proud to have such a towering figure in India and a statue that is towering above all other statues of the world. Aren't you all tempted to go and visit this place? Very soon the protocols will be, telling you on how to travel, and I'm sure Gujarat will be welcoming people with the basic precautions being in place. All the regiments are there. And we will come back to Jenu and Sanjay for some questions. But as I said in the beginning today, as part of the honor that we have of very, very, special two people on our program today. And I'll tell you why they are special. But first, let me tell you about one of them and have him come and say a few words. We have with us Mr. Padam Rosha. He's an ex-IPS officer and a former director of the National Police Academy at Hyderabad. He retired as the Director General of the Jammu and Kashmir Police Force. And when did he join the police force? 1948. Are you wondering when was he born? 1923. He joined the first police department, as I said, in 48 and is also responsible for the team that set up the Border Security Force, the force that guards our borders today, viewers. So that's why having him on board today on the Day of Independence is so very a moment of pride for us. He was awarded, amongst many other awards, the President's Medal of Distinguished Service. Mr. Rosha is one of the many who were forced to migrate at the time of partition in 1947. Clearly, it would have been such a painful period of his life. At that time, he was studying at the Government College in Lahore when he had to leave his PhD papers behind and drive across the border to Amritsar and Jalandhar. They were clearly difficult times. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Mr. Rosha. Sir, matter of great pride for us to have you on board Dekho Apna Desh through Incredible India. Namaste, sir.
Namaskar.
Sir, if I
But
may
as
ask...
you,
Yes, sir.
it's a privilege to have been part of the development processes for almost a century. And having seen so much happening and how we have grown out of divisive politics and now well on the way to being a sort of economically viable and something to be reckoned with. So it was almost a century since I was born, and at partition I was a research scholar at the Punjab University in Lahore, and I had taken the Public Service Commission exam in July 47 in Lahore itself and was appointed to the IPS in 1948 and joined the National Police Academy at Mount Abu and served in many crucial posts, like you mentioned, the Director, NPA, and twice the IG Police in Jammu Kashmir as well. First memories as we moved across from Lahore to India, as the looting and burning of homesteads, refugees on both sides, long, miserable caravans, rain drenched, and wherever they halted for the night, there were graves and burning ghats almost. But we very soon got out of it, and as you said, we have developed into a democratic and inclusive society. And institution building along the way, and including some very crucial postings like in Firozpur during the 1965 war with Pakistan also. And twice I served in J&K as IGP and as Director General of Security. Anything else you would like me to talk about?
Sir, I must mention it personally that I had my foundation course at the NPA, so it brings different memories. But moving on, sir, since we are on the Independence Day today, one message that you would like to give to all of us who are carrying forward the independent India, that all of you are responsible in so many ways for handing over to us.
Well, I would say that we leave the divisive politics behind us and under the present leadership have a bonding together of all sections of society and look at the positive aspects and goals which we have to achieve. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. We wish you a very, very healthy and a really, really long life. And I hope I can host you once again next year on the 15th August or on another special day. Do take good care of yourself. And thank you so much for joining us today, sir.
God willing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Viewers, another incredible Indian that we have with us today, after this first incredible Indian, born in 1923 and still going strong and giving us his blessings, is the next very incredible Indian. We bring you a tour guide. She, I didn't want to mention the gender, but she was a part of the pre-independent India and had joined the Subhash Chandra Bose's INA. Can you imagine? She was born in 1926 and she learned how to speak Japanese. And therefore, after India became independent, she chose to become a tour guide and has had the distinction of being awarded by the Honorable President of India in 2015 for being the best tour guide. And in 2020, the Films Division has commissioned a 40 minutes film on her titled Elephants Do Remember. The film has been selected in the 16th International Film Festival at Mumbai. And interestingly, at the age of 94, she still gets into her walking shoes. And if you want to go touring somewhere in Mumbai, I'm sure she'll be a happy guide and a happy host. Welcome today a very special guest, Mrs. Rama Khandwala, all of 94 years, as I said, and going strong. Welcome, madam. I would say Lieutenant Rama Khandwala, because she was a part of the INA of Subhash Chandra Bose ji. Madam.
Thank you.
Namaskar, madam.
Thank you for
Abhinandan hai aapka. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity and telling something about Netaji. And before I do that, I would like to tell you one very important thing. I was very lucky to meet Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in Mumbai. And I remember he was staying in Marine Drive and he called me. And for 2 hours, he was discussing and he wanted to know how Netaji built this great Azad Hind Fauj. He wanted to know about our training. He wanted to know about the Rani Jhansi regiment. He wanted to know about the war. He wanted to know everything. And later on, he said, why don't you join the Congress? We need people like you. And the country would be very happy to have people like you also. I said, sir, I'm thankful for meeting you. I'm happy, but I'm sorry, I'm not interested in politics and I would not like to join. But thank you in every respect. So this is the story. And I remember very clearly meeting him. He was very enthusiastic and wanted to know everything. I came back from Rangoon. I was there during the Second World War. I had this training in the Rani Jhansi regiment, which Netaji was, had come to Rangoon. And from there, our slogan was Chalo Delhi, because from there we were to come to India and we wanted the independence. Netaji was so very keen to have the independence of India. And he was really a great leader, very dynamic, great personality. and there were only just a few of us who were selected to be the guard of honor whenever he gave his speech. And that is how I joined in Rangoon. I joined the Rani Jhansi Regiment. It was really very tough, and later on it became very good because we met the Ranis from Malaysia. We met the Ranis from Singapore. We met all the Ranis. All had come, and we used to hear Netaji speaking. Oh, he was so dynamic. All the ladies would come and take out the jewelry and put it in his charno. And he says, this is for our independence of India. So he contributed, and he was very powerful. And he was really, he had such a lot of nationalism. He was so fond of the country, and he was very proud of the Indian National Army, and also very proud of the Rani Jhansi Regiment. I came here, and at the first speech of the independence, which I heard from Jawaharlal Nehru, my tears were coming down. I was reminded of the independence. Netaji's last speech was, "Aapko taklif hogi आइंदा, इंडिया को जरूर इंडिपेंडेंस मिलेगी, जरूर आज़ादी मिलेगी, आप हमियत रखें और आप आगे बढ़िए." So this is what has kept me going. आगे बढ़ो. और एक one thing I must tell you, that Netaji also was always in favor of unity. Or he was always saying that हम हिंदुस्तानी है, हम ये है मुसलमान है, हम बंगाली है. नहीं, हम सब हिंदुस्तानी है. हमारा देश हिंदुस्तान है, और आपको सबको सब साथ मिलकर हमको आज़ादी के लिए काम करना है. आइंदा भी आप सब साथ मिलके काम करेंगे. एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट. मेरी भी ये ख्वाहिश है, मेरी भी ये रिक्वेस्ट है सब लोग के लिए. हम सब साथ मिलके अपने देश को क्यों ना और आगे बढ़ाइए, और एक दुनिया में इसको अव्वल बनाने का है. हमारा देश के लिए सबको मालूम पड़ना चाहिए, सब हमारे देश के लिए. तो आप सब साथ देंगे, हम सब साथ मिलके काम करेंगे, हम सब आगे बढ़ाएंगे. तो ये टूरिज्म में भी हमने यही सीखा है, सब फॉरेनर्स को भी. हम बहुत, आई वाज वेरी प्राउड ऑफ माय कंट्री. आई यूज्ड टू टेल देम एवरीथिंग, द गुड एंड द बैड, बिकॉज एवरी कंट्री हैज गॉट गुड एंड बैड. सो you know, and that when the Americans would say we have so much poverty, I would say, what was your country 300 years ago? Then they would, you know, remind them of it. And I would tell them about my country, tell them what we are doing, and how everything is. Where I also feel that we have such nice qualified guides who are representing our country. Then at that time when we were selected, we were chosen, we were educated, we wanted, and this is what my message to all of them is, आप आपकी अमर कहानी मत सुनाइए, आप आपके देश के लिए, वो देश की बात, देश की culture, they are interested in with the arranged marriages, they are interested in the joint family system, they are interested in so many things, and
Right.
that is what we project. So this
Lieutenant
is
Rama
what
Khandwala,
there's so
I
many
salute
things
you,
that
madam.
Netaji
I
के
salute
बारे
you,
में.
madam.
Jai Hind.
Madam, it is a
Thank you,
pleasure, absolutely pleasure. And I think we can keep listening to you, and I must get you back on another program because, as I said earlier, you are a treasure trove of so much behind you and so inspiring. आगे बढ़ना है. At 94 also, आगे बढ़ना है. एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, without divisive thought. And that's the message coming to us from both the senior citizens of India, Mr. Padan Rosha ji and Lieutenant Rama Khandwala, both giving a similar message. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to take two very quick questions from the viewers on the Gujarat part of it, because we went to the Statue of Unity Jenu, people want to know, when are you going to open the Statue of Unity? Have you any timelines planned?
Ma'am, as far as the state is concerned, we are thinking of opening all the tourist places, but only this thing is that the central government guidelines are there regarding the unlocking parts, Home Ministry's guidelines. So considering that, whenever we give the go-ahead from the central government, the state will be taking an appropriate call. The only thing that has in our mind is just that since it is a place where a lot of tourists do gather at a particular point of time, so we have to ensure that all the safety precautions are also there and the issues of COVID should not also happen. The spreading part should not happen from that particular monument. So once we get the go-ahead, we will definitely open it up for the tourists, ma'am. We also know that everybody is eager to go.
Jen, people are asking, what is the entrance fee for the Statue of Liberty?
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am.
For the Indians.
Ma'am, it's 300 rupees, ma'am, and for an express ticket, it's 1,000 rupees, ma'am.
Okay, fantastic. So with a heavy heart, as always, we are over our time, but then I think it was worth it. Getting so much to know about the towering figure of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The reason why we sit together today and celebrate independence is because of the passion, because of the zeal, because of the sheer commitment that these people had. And as Sanjay pointed out, even when Sardar Patel was on his deathbed, his concerns were about the unity of India. His concerns were about people not being left poor, not being left divided, it being one common India. And also an interesting dimension where he tells us that how can we be free and how can we be a free country if the women of our country don't join in? Isn't that such a progressive thought? So many things to learn from such kind of people who have been born in this motherland of ours. Every single person's life humbles us and teaches us where we need to go forward. And of course, I must not forget again and thank to both my very special guests today, Lieutenant Rama Khanpal and also Sir Rosha for joining us and giving us their blessings. We wish both of them a really, really long life so that we can have you again on our program in times to come. Well, viewers, we have to end the program today, and we are meeting you again on the 22nd of August, and we're going to take you Dekho Apna Desh, and this time to Hyderabad. So from Ahmedabad and nearby to Ahmedabad, we move to Hyderabad. So thank you very much, viewers, for supporting us once again. A very, very happy 74th Independence Day. The message is loud and clear. Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. जुड़ के रहिए, लगे रहिए, बने रहिए और अपने देश को आगे बढ़ाते रहिए. Namaskar. Thank you very much. See you 11 a.m. 22nd August from Hyderabad. Thank you, Jenus. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Team NEGG. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.